luck. Away you go.
Thank you. Is that on a large screen, everybody, or is it so small for me?
Perfect. Perfect.
I can see it.
I'm just checking. Right, so my question for my small research project was, is the national curriculum suitable for SEND schools? And one of the reasons I chose this, you've all heard me talk about this 100 times, but when we were doing our first assignment and we were looking at the praxis product and process, but I leant towards more of the praxis part, which was to for experiences and interactions of both students and teachers, the curriculum adapts and evolves based on the needs and interests of the learner, which is true in some part for SEND student, but is it true enough? So that's why I came up with that question, because obviously I have my beliefs, but I wanted to know what other teachers thought. So yeah, so that was my rationale behind that. My screen's really small. I don't know if you can see it all properly, but
Yeah, we're seeing it.
right. So what the government has to say about the suitability of the national curriculum for SEND schools. So the government may believe that the national curriculum is suitable for SEND schools because it provides a standardised framework intended to ensure a baseline of education for all students, including those with special educational needs and disabilities. They argue that a consistent curriculum helps set clear expectations and support inclusive education practices aiming to provide education that addresses a broad range of learning difficulties. So what do we get for that from the national curriculum? So accessible learning materials, providing materials in various formats such as audio, large print, and accommodation for different learning styles and abilities. Specialised instruction, using technology tools and to assist students in their learning. Qualified support staff having trained professionals such as specialised education teachers, speech therapists, occupational therapists to provide targeted inclusivity, understanding and acceptance, regular assessment and monitoring, and collaboration with parents, physical accessibility, emotional and social support, which is all great, but in nowhere does it state about meeting the basic needs of the students. And the assessment P levels, I would like to come back and speak to in a little bit later. So why could the national curriculum be perceived as not being beneficial? It may be perceived as not being beneficial for SEND schools due to its potentially limited flexibility and one-size-fits-all approach, which may not adequately address the diverse needs of students with special educational needs and disabilities. So the basic needs for some of our students are as simple things such as being fed first thing, having breakfast, having meeting their sensory needs, having a safe space to go to, time to talk, time to be alone, and medical needs. A lot of our children come into school already needing to decompress just through home life, the travel to school on the bus. Many things can happen which can cause a lot of our children to completely shut down, and they are not ready to learn if these basic needs are met. And nowhere in the national curriculum does it specify that. So for my research methods, the first thing that I wanted to do was a survey. This was aimed at teachers, as they are the ones that have to make all the adaptations. I sent out 15 surveys and got 12 replies, which gave me this response from 80% of the target audience. So for ethical reasons, the surveys were all anonymous unless consent was given for their names to be added for further research, which then I did 4 interviews after that. So the first question on the survey was, do you think the national curriculum is suitable for special educational skills? And as you can see, it was a resounding no. So the reasons behind that is I can't see all my slides for some reason. Oh, hold on. There we go. So if you can see from one of the main challenges you face when implementing the national curriculum, and there are some of the reasons that I got back from the survey. So too rigid, needs to be more practical. Again, too rigid and expectations beyond capabilities. Lack of options and practicable base qualifications. Again, too rigid. You can see there's a common thread here. Pitch too high, not enough focus on skills, needs to be heavily adapted, needs to be more flexible, insufficient consideration for more complex learners. So assessing students with SEND needs adapting to add focus on other areas such as engagement and social skills. Right, so on. So then looking at the last one, so looking at how our children are assessed, what we use something called P levels, which are they were introduced in 1988 to sit below level 1 of the old national curriculum because teachers working with children with complex needs found that the national curriculum level descriptors started too high for our students. So P scales presume a linear progression that presume that pupils will move on from one skill set to another of a more challenging advanced skill. Whilst this is an appropriate assumption for most pupils, it does not acknowledge that for pupils with severe or profound and multi-learning difficulties, progress can often look different. P scales combine this linear assessment framework with a best fit approach for assessment. So I conducted 4 interviews. The interviews that I chose to cover a range of teachers at school. So I used 2 complex needs teachers from Key Stage 1 and 2, and a complex needs teacher from 3 and 4, a member of SLT, and then just a standard teacher to see what they had to think about whether P levels are still relevant for the way that we assess children. And as you can see from here, it was a no. It doesn't represent the children that are coming through SEND schools today with more complex needs. Let me just get to that bit. Yeah, because we're looking at more of emotional and social skills, life skills such as hygiene, keeping safe, being able to cook food. It's no good. It's important for children to learn how to read and write when you've got complex needs students who are at targets where it's being able to take their coat off for themselves, being able to hang their bag up, being able to sit for a 2-minute song. And these are things that they're working towards. They're not actually doing them now. So reading and writing is way in the distance for our children, and the assessment doesn't give any scope for the complex needs of the children that we have. So for my secondary research, which this was rather difficult because there wasn't a lot of research out there. So I did come across the Rochford review. So I've lost my placement, guys. Sorry, hold on. Right, so in 2016, the Rochford Review Group was established to review how pupils who are working below the standard of national curriculum assessment are assessed. So I seem to have lost my bits and pieces. I'm so sorry. Right, so the report sets out the recommendations of the independent review group. And as you can see from the report, there, I have completely lost where I am. I've lost my report. Sorry guys, I've lost my report that I was going to read from. But basically, the Rochford report said that the P levels were very outdated and recommended that they were just abolished. So the data from the survey carried out by the Rochford Review had mixed views. The majority, 78% of respondents, felt that the P scales are not fit for purpose in their current form. Over 60% of parents and carers who responded did not think P scales provided useful information about their child. So, the research project investigated the compatibility of the national curriculum and the unique learning needs of students with SEND. So what can we do about it? So the things that we need to do is to involve communities, support for parents, community members, discussions with workshops to build a broader understanding of the challenges faced by students with SEND, connect with organisations dedicated to supporting individuals with SEND and collaborate to initiate the aim to influence educational policies and practices. So looking at the answers that I got from the survey and from the interview, I think the answer to the question is a definite no. The current national curriculum does not fit and students we send, and I think we need to advocate for our students that a policy is written just for SEND students, because it doesn't fit at the moment. For the complex needs students who are coming in who have problems with social and emotional skills, who are non-verbal, it needs to be very basic. And for some of our older children who are not academic, there needs to be more life skills so that they can learn to look after themselves as they get older. So like I said earlier, hygiene, keeping safe, being able to cook food for themselves. And I think that's it. What time? What's the time on that? Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, I'm done there.
No worries, you've got one more slide. I'm intrigued to see.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, somebody's on my phone.
13,
Oh, it was just
13 minutes, Lisa. So you're
I've
all right.
actually missed a reference off Adam, and I've just realised it as well.
No problem. Well, you've got time to tell us about that.
It was just the hierarchy of needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I forgot to put on about just meeting their basic needs.
Yeah, perfect. That's definitely a good reference to use. So that's you'll have 2 or 3 references, won't you now, which will be ideal. So well done. Any questions? Don't worry, Lisa. That was well, I saw you that with that looked absolutely,
It was
spot
a
on. So you got that was just a minute or 2. That's all, and you got it on your slide. So
sorry, guys, I waffled through there. I forgot where I was. I let my nerves get the better of me yet again.
I didn't. From what I saw, that didn't come across. So well done. Well done.
Sorry.
Any questions, anybody? I'm going to stop recording if that's okay, because I've got to get to the other room to stop their recording as well. And what